dude, the belief in yourself will take you so far. Like, when you truly did, I feel like going to college like really gives you the opportunity to have the desire to achieve something that, you know, even though like you're not gonna learn it like through the classes, you're not gonna learn it like through the teachers themselves. I mean, unless you have a really great teacher, which some people do, right? I feel like going to college still like instills the desire within you to achieve a long-term objective. And we're talking about like multi-year objective, right? Which is, I feel like, is something like I haven't recently experienced with trying to like go achieve things on my own, because I feel like I could be like so scatterbrained and like so not like, well, focused in directions, but focused in many directions, right? Because, you know, there's always, and like especially with advancement technology and all this stuff, it's like that's cool and all, but how you're able to, I feel like how I'm able to like, okay, get the picture and execute and do all the things I need to do, and like just make some progression and make some progression on, you know, a set goal matters. And I feel like I can achieve that like within a couple of days, with a couple hours, right? But, you know, comparing that to the long-term objective set that you get with college and trying to get a college degree is like, I don't know, kind of life-changing in a sense, because, you know, you could achieve something in a day or a couple weeks and commit to it, but that's like nothing compared to committing to it for several years, right? And honestly, it's not even about college, but it's just about the level of commitment you have towards something that is, you know, long-term time frame versus a short-term time frame, right? And especially with like making money online, like you're not going to see success unless you commit to the thing that you're doing, whatever it is, right? And idealistically, you would want to like get some type of quick traction on whatever it is that you're doing with making a business online. But that doesn't necessarily happen, and if it does, it's like you got super lucky. You really took the advantage on that. With first movers or something like that, or found like a loophole or something like that, or you really took advantage of a gap in a market and took quick action. But like even the skill set needed to develop to like be able to take quick action, you know, takes, you know, a long-term like mindset in a sense, right? Or the ability to act at the forefront of your knowledge, right? Like, for example, you could say like being able to throw up a Shopify store, being able to throw up a website, being able to throw up a blog, put it on the internet, being able to throw up like all this requires like that first initial set of skills or set of like know-how, right? That you only achieve when you commit yourself to doing it. Like it took me like 2-3 weeks to figure out how to put my own blog on WordPress. And then it took me like, 2 to 3 months to figure out how to work Make.com. And it took me like, and then after that, like, I've understand like the fundamentals, like, okay, people need to go to a blog, like people need to go to a website, like here's the different reasons or why, having a website link is important in different scenarios, right, of an online business. Here's different like reasons why automations are very valuable for a business and why they're not valuable, like pros and cons of that, right? I would not have discovered that unless I'd committed about 2 to 3 months of deliberate like effort in trying to learn and like explore and be creative and innovate in this area, right? In those specific areas, right? Versus that, like, let's say you just came out the womb and you have some like internet access. Could you throw up your own Shopify? Could you do your own TikTok shop? Could you do your own YouTube course? Could you do your own YouTube channel and like develop an audience? And could you develop your own perfect LinkedIn profile? Could you develop your own like software code base? Like, could you develop like all these things that you have to do online on the internet? Like all those skills, like when creating music, like when creating CAD files, like that, like all those skills can compound. But they took like some level of commitment to initially get good at it, right? And then like across domains, you could apply some like level of intelligence across domains, but still, like, if you get really good at one thing, which college has put me through the trials and tribulations of, if you get really good at one thing, you could apply that domain specific knowledge across different areas of life, in a sense. But you're not going to get that unless you commit yourself to it for a long period of time, right? But then again, some people are just very skilled or talented, but it's definitely life changing when you do commit yourself to something for a life, for a good couple of years. And that that behavior, that daily habit, that conditioning, that constant stress. I'd say stress is good or bad. I'm just saying, like, that constant, like, I don't know how to say it except for just conditioning. That constant conditioning that you would get over a set of years of doing, like, or trying to get good and learn like one thing, versus getting good at a myriad of things for a couple of weeks or days or months. It's incomparable, you know what I mean? And like, I'm just trying to get like bring the point home of like, it definitely is worth it to commit to something, and having an external system outside of you, right, to hold you accountable to getting that one thing done, whatever it is, right, is a really great lesson that I feel like you wouldn't achieve, or I feel like some people wouldn't achieve unless they hold themselves like to that standard, right, on a daily basis, which even for me is like pretty difficult. Like, there's so many like opportunities and like challenges and learning areas and research and areas of my life that I want to improve, but I can't do all of that at once. You know what I mean? I can't do I can't like do this thing where I focus on one thing for a day, do this thing where I focus on another thing for a day. Like for me, I feel like it's, you know, the skill development isn't really getting developed unless I like fully commit to something. Now, I mean, who's to say that, you know, some skills are worth more than others? That is true, but I say that knowing which skills develop and why is also important. And I feel like you would not necessarily get that unless you had that long-term goal set of how to, and how to know which skills are worth it to develop and to leverage, and why, and how can they best serve you in upcoming future scenarios that might help you out in life, right? But that just goes to life experience. Yeah, having long-term goals really help. They really do. So make an effort to have a long-term goal, and find a system that keeps you accountable to that. I like to use Todoist. That's what helped me in college. Todoist and Beeminder, and they still kind of impact me to this day. But yeah, it's so incredible the amount of technology that we got right now, dude. Like, you could like, dude, like the amount of capability that we'll be able to have, like, just next year is going to be incredible. And this is another point to this conversation, is that you might be distracted, you might be overwhelmed, there might be so much amount of opportunity, yet so much type of difficulty that may happen throughout your life and with technology and stuff like that. But knowing which skill and which tech stack, and, you know, knowing all these reasons why plays a key part. And trying to pick what is the right activity, skill, commitment to do at the right time and why. So try to stick to a long-term goal, because it has all those beneficial things that I just talked about. So much more. So yeah, try to have a long-term goal.